So it was interesting. Before the Ubisoft show, I was like, man, do I want to play a game that I really like, that I know I like and get paid for it? Or do I want to watch the Ubisoft show? Sounds like I made the right decision. Great. I was actually a little worried about that beforehand, so yeah, pretty good. I'm feeling like we made the right choice. Okay. Feeling like we made the right choice. What are your overall thoughts on SGF weekend as a whole? Fun shows. Little concerned about the AAA state of the industry. But it's interesting because I keep coming back to something. I definitely am concerned about the game industry as a whole. And it's very clear that I feel like AAA over the next few years is going to thin out. But every time I say this and think about it, another part of me gets excited in thinking that it's the pendulum swinging back towards indie dev. Like I want, like a lot of us are doom and glooming the game industry as a whole, but and to be fair, that's totally valid. There's thousands of people losing jobs in these studios. Like it's a horror. Like, there's nothing good about that, and that will never be good. In addition to that terrible stuff happening, like we've talked about in the past with the analogies, the forest is thinning and more sunlight is making it to the ground. And more importantly, more sunlight is not going into AAA companies' executives' pockets and yachts. So hopefully, since more sunlight is hitting the ground, more little indie devs will pop up to get it. And that is the very, very thin silver lining to this situation. And I will say, I had a meeting during lunch, and one of the things we were talking about is, and this is very interesting, the person I was talking to is involved in game dev, but is not a big gamer. And one of the things they said is it's going to be interesting in the next couple years.
You know, water, not optional.
Because they watched the PC game show and got game fatigue. There were so many indie games at the PC game show that they were like, I don't want to watch any. And that's a really interesting idea, because that means that not only are we going to be dealing with in the next few years like this glut of indie games, but now it's going to be like, who is going to decide what mechanisms are in place, and how are we as consumers going to be able to sort through that and find the good ones? What tools exist to help us find the gems in the rough? And the short answer is there's not many. And there's even less tools for those devs to get to us, especially if they're devs that don't have resources. So if you're an indie dev and you don't have a deal with Steam for deployment, good luck. So it's like, it's. Don't get me wrong. There's other platforms. Of course, there's other platforms. There's GOG, Epic, all that stuff. But my point is that it's a very limited field for what we're looking at. If you consider where we are as a community, as game players, and the field we have chosen to exist in, we are looking at a giant that's about to happen over the next few years of indie dev. And our game dev community does not have the tools to handle the next few years. It's going to be messy. One sec. That's where Cohh takes a cut of your game? Me? Well, no, here's the thing. There's already mechanisms that exist for those that are already succeeding. And that's sponsored streaming. But sponsored streaming, to a large or meaningful degree, is incredibly expensive and requires upfront compensation. How much upfront compensation do you think Concerned Ape had before he put Stardew Valley on Steam? And do you think it would be enough to have afforded any type of PR? Now, he got lucky. This game's amazing. Got picked up. It was just amazing on its own. Spread like wildfire. And now he's like a multi-billionaire. Awesome. But if it hadn't, then that amazing game just would have gone right under the radar, like thousands do every year. And that makes me wonder, how many Stardew Valleys are out there? And the only reason they didn't succeed was because they didn't get a chance to show people. That's what's missing. That's what our industry does not have. So it's interesting because, like, of course things exist that do components of what I'm talking about, but there has yet to exist any mechanisms or institutions that facilitate that. And mark my words, in the next few years, we are in for a ride. It's because I think a lot of people are noticing that there's a lot of very meaningful missing infrastructure from indie dev that would really improve everything. Like, it would raise everyone's water potentially. So it's wild. Like, some of the conversations I've had over the last few weeks is it's wild what doesn't exist. That would be just incredible. But hey, it means there's a lot of open room for people to fill those gaps. And as those needs evolve and become more apparent over the next few years, I think we'll see a lot of those companies pop up. Would that be a reason why you joined Mad Mushroom? I joined Mad Mushroom for my thesis of getting great games to gamers. I'm helping them pick and curate the games, and that is what I wanted to do. So yeah, I mean, that is one of multiple things I'm doing these days to try to facilitate that. Mm-hmm. What are we talking about, Lim? We're just talking about streaming and indie devs and stuff. Gonna start focusing on the game here in a minute. No ill intent here, but how come you still do sponsored streams at the level you're at? Wouldn't it be better to play whatever you want? No. Sponsored streaming is incredibly lucrative. It really is. And especially as Twitch becomes significantly more hostile towards the creators that they are, as Twitch tries to pull more and more and more of our income back under its umbrella, which is going to happen a lot this year, in the directions they're moving. The sponsored stuff becomes more and more important. So, yeah, I wish I was in a position where I could just stop doing that, but I'm not. With the stuff that I do, and 3 kids and 3 futures to worry about, and a money pit of a house I've been dealing with for 2 years. It's not quite as yeah. We make great money streaming. We make way above average money streaming. Don't get me wrong. Well, there's expenses. I have many full-time hires. I pay a lot of money to a lot of people to help me run this thing. I have a management that takes a big cut. It's expensive to run a machine like this. Yep. It's expensive. So it all adds up. Yep. So anyway, that's why I do sponsor streams, to keep everything moving forward. So, yeah. Also, to put it bluntly, I don't take sponsored streams of games that I don't want to check out or I'd play anyway. So when you ask me, like, why do you do sponsored streams and not just play what you want? I don't take sponsored streams for games I don't want to play. I turn down probably 80 to 90% of the sponsorships that come my way because I don't take a sponsorship for a game I don't want to play or check out. So thankfully, I'm in a position where I can do that. Not all streamers can say that at all, but I thanks to you guys, that is a position I'm in. Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, Lothan, we basically did. Yeah, it's kind of funny. So we bought this house that had natural stone all around the outside. And that's awesome, right? Great. It's perfect. Natural stone looked beautiful, and it was awesome. And then, after we'd been in the house for about 3 months, in the basement, we noticed a leak. A leak in the basement. It's weird, just in the corner. Strange. So, it really had to pour for it to leak.
Oh, a dogged fellow, aren't we?
Hold on.
Or is it merely thy habit to talk to dolls? Fine. I hadn't expected any soul to recognize me in this guise. But now the cat is out the bag. I cannot allow thee thy freedoms. Perform for me a service as recompense. Eliminate the baleful shadows which prowl these lands. The name of Rani the Witch is already sullied by thee. I will not brook disobedience in this matter.
Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna TLDR this for the two people in chat that are actually interested. TLDR. Leak in the basement. House is pretty big, covered in natural stone. Covered. Like windows and stone. That's it. Basically a castle. So the leak in the basement, they're coming to do some other repair work because a stone had fallen off the house. I should have picked up on that. Maybe that wasn't a good sign when a stone falls off the house. So as they came to fix the stone that fell off the house, I was like, could you take off the bottom 2 feet of this wall and can you fix the leak in that corner? And they were like, yeah, sure, absolutely. So they took the bottom 2 feet of the wall and they were like, hey, so we're going to have to go up just a little bit more because the 2 feet we took off, the corner of your house is dry rotted. All the way to the concrete. And I was like,
Nani?
yeah, sure, you can take off a little bit more of my 20-year-old house that has dry rot 2 feet from the ground. And keep in mind, we had a full inspection. Nothing was caught. Nothing. And this was months and months and months after we had bought the house. So, like, months. So I was like, man, so, yeah, sure, take a few off, take out the dry root, seal it back, or dry rot, seal it back up. 2 feet. 4 feet. 6 feet. 8 feet. 10 feet. 12 feet. 14 feet. 16 feet up the side of the house. All dry rotted. Now, if you are a repair person, you're probably thinking here, wait a second, something doesn't add up. How, in a 20-year-old house, is there 16 feet of dry rot? Those timelines don't add up. That means it would have had to have been leaking for the last...
Oh.
That means it's been taking water damage probably since it was built. Uh-oh. We better spot check the house. Oh, that's fun. Did you know that you can use too much sand in mortar? Did you know that? And did you know that when they do that, that it makes it so it's porous and water can get to the metal lathe work behind it? Isn't that interesting? Huh. Now, what's really funny, when your whole house is like that. So then you have to spend the next year and a half taking every single rock off your house, repairing the plethora of damage you find, rebuilding the chimney that almost fell down from the damage when they tried to take the rocks off, have an open roof for 3 months that rain was pouring into and causing thousands of dollars of drywall damage in your house, fixing all of that, sealing the roof back up and having it leak 3 more times over the course of 3 months. So anyway, back to the person who thought that I was using that little phrase, money pit of a house, as kind of a joke. No. What we later found out is that the guy that built the house he built it himself, and he got like he basic TLDR. This house has a history, and we basically had to bring in professionals, and thank God we had the resources to do this, because we had to bring in professionals. Turned out the guy that made it, like, brilliant dude. The house is awesome. Solid steel interior. It's incredible. But he had no experience in contract work. So it's like, so he tried to like do it himself, and he was a brilliant guy and really smart, but just had no experience. And what that means is there's all sorts of little, over the last 2 years, we basically added experience to the house. And now we're done. It's been an ordeal. And the longtime people that have been here the last 2 years can tell you. there were times when I was like on stream and nearly like in tears from the stress. I woke up one morning at 2 a.m. and my master bedroom on the first floor of my house, I hear a weird sound and I walk inside and there's water pouring out of my crown molding. And my drywall is peeling off the side in my master bedroom closet. I had like PTSD anytime I would hear dripping water for months. If I heard it in games, I would sit there taking off my... like it was, oh my God. it was crazy. It was crazy. I do want to point out that it is, I'm painfully aware of the fact that this entire journey I've just taken you on, is a ridiculous journey taken by like 0.1% of humans. And it is, I want to make sure people fundamentally understand, you know, as somebody who worked paycheck to paycheck for 30 years of my life, I understand how ridiculous this all sounds. Nothing that I'm saying is meant to be like, oh, woe is me. The reason I'm telling you this is because it's hilarious. And just goes to show you that, like, sometimes things just suck no matter how, like, it's like, no matter how much money you have or no matter how good you're doing, sometimes things just suck. Like, it just sucks for a long time. But yeah, so I still, like, now that 2 years and back, you know, it makes fun stories and stuff like that. But, oh man, ooh, it was, yeah, it was a time. It was a time. Number cruncher, kind of, yeah. And you say that, like, I'm assuming as a joke, but I mean, you're absolutely right. What he said is, it would be tragic if you didn't have money, but you do, so it's funny. And you're right. You're right. And funny enough, I've definitely been in previous houses in situations where we've had horrible things happen and just not been able to do anything about it. Yeah, I've been in that exact situation, and you're absolutely right. It's horrible, and it's not. It's terrible. So yeah, for sure. Anyway, enough of me ranting. Let's play the game. Was there a game that had dripping background noise when you had the leaks? Yes. Yes. Chat can tell you there were a few games. There were a few games that I played that that had dripping constant sound effects, and I would literally have to wear one headphone. Yeah, because I couldn't do it.
Perform for me a service as recompense. Eliminate the baleful shadows which prowl these lands. The name of Rani the Witch is already sullied by thee. I will not brook disobedience in this matter.
Wow, town dude, I'm sorry to hear. Good God, glad you're okay. Jeez.
Perform for me. Eliminate the name of Rani the Witch. I will not.
All right, so that's all good to go. And that was today's episode with story time with Cohh. It was. Yeah, sorry to have gone off on such a rant there. An off-topic rant. Do we have a map for this area? We do. Okay, so we're going down here. Now, we already came down here. This is where the ants and stuff were. So I think we're going over here and going to the... right? I don't know exactly where we're going for Ronnie. So it's the 5th or 6th time you picked up those same flowers? I like the flowers, man. Ah, Julia. I'm sorry. That's so unfortunate. Can you move, Julia? Is there a better place? Go to the site of grace at the bottom. Oh, down here? Oh, is it over here? I think it's in this area. We haven't been to this area yet. Okay. We're just going to go through here because I haven't really done too much in here yet. So. Can we just run up and punch that dude in the face? I think we can, right? Yeah, we totally can. Okay. Kontazumi! I have to brag a little, Cohh. I beat Millennia for the first time. Dude, congratulations. That's big. That's big. Congrats, buddy. Which one are you going to use on the DLC run? This will be our first character. Hello! Goodbye. Sorry, bud. So chat, was that right? Is this where we want to go for this Ronnie quest? No. Yes? No. No, yes, yes, no is what I see in chat right now. Oh, man. No, yes, yes, no. Dude. This is a separate area, not that way. Just go through this area. Okay, let's go do that. We're just going to go through this area. Thanks, Nuri. You have to go this way to get to the Lake of Rot, which is how you do Ronnie's quest. Okay. Do I want to go left or right here? That way? Right? Right there? Right. Great. Thank you, chat. What level am I? I think now we're like 125-ish. Oh, 117. Lower. I haven't done any farming on this character, really, so. Pretty low. Heard the DLC enemies in the range of level 1 to 150? Yep. Heard the same thing. I heard the preview levels that they gave to the excuse me, the preview characters they gave to the content creators that got to check out the expansion early were like 150. It's pretty significant. That's pretty wild too. That's a lot. And considering that some of them even said like it was not it wasn't like a pushover at 150 at all. No. I don't even know what that means, Zenny. What does that mean? Oh, are you asking for an item in the game? Is that what it is? Parcel says, so should I be good at level 343? I think you're okay. Zenny Game is looking for Starfists in chat, if anyone has any that they want to give him. That being said, I hope that's not the, I hope that item actually exists and is not the name of some egregious sex act I've never heard of. And if so, I do apologize. I was unaware. Oh, that is a real weapon? Oh, great. Okay, good. Ooh, good. One less thing to worry about. Junk. Dodged a bullet there. I did. Yeah, I know. Tamachi, me too. I was worried too. Yeah. It's okay. We're fine. Go ahead and buff up a little bit. Is there a way to counteract bleed? Yeah, don't get cut. There's lots of different ways to counteract bleed. You could use things like a preserving bolus. Excuse me, a staunching bolus, which I think you can craft later. You can also, I believe, get maybe something in your flask that helps with bleed buildup. You also have a variety of spells that can help you. So there's like cure... oh, wait a second. No. I don't... Is there a cure for bleed? There's a bleed for poison, scarlet rot, death buildup. Is there one for bleed? Oh, bestial constitution. Oh, I don't have... Do I have that? Bestial constitution. Does it do anything else? Where's my beast spells? Oh, down here. Oh, I don't have that. Cool. Okay. Well, yeah. So there you go. There are different options, but there's also some talismans that can adjust that as well. There's a spell that cures all negative ailments. There you go. Man. Boom! Wish that ant's head was a little bigger. What? Wait. What? Apparently Miyazaki or some other high-up dev said they went the Sekiro route with progress in the DLC so low levels could participate day one? You're talking about for this game's DLC? I haven't heard that at all. Is that... Wait, what? The DLC will have its own progression system? It's meant to be done in the middle of your game? And it requires you to beat Moog? Nothing that requires you to beat Moog is designed to be done in the middle of the game.